Hey,
Hi.
we're back. Oogity boogity with more crappy supernatural stories. Ooh, it's had a name change. I'm putting crappy in there. Just so the real supernatural people don't click on it by mistake, thinking they're going to get something good.
It's shitty.
Yeah, it's shitty. Let's go.
A thing on the bridge. I live in the rural town of Port Hedland, Western Australia, and this is what happened on my walk. It was 2 Saturdays ago, on the 12th of August. I was walking alone at about 5:30 in the afternoon.
Okay.
I would normally have been walking my dog Charlie at this time, but she had an eye infection that kept her from sleeping and didn't seem up to the exercise.
Breathe. She got caught on, Mount Variable Weather?
Yeah. Port Hedland is a coastal town near the northern end of Australia and is prone to heavy rain.
Did she hit Wikipedia? She lived there, but you know that she went. She's going to give you the population of Port Hedland, you know, and its economy.
The council chambers we locate and.
Yeah, this was probably actually written by the Port Hedland Council to attract people there.
Desperate ditch to yeah. The annual torrents require an extensive system of ditches running through the town to drain the water off the roads. There's also, I'm imagining this is some crappy rural, Australia rural thing.
Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah. There also tends to be a lot of empty land between blocks of houses, massively overgrown with weeds, that are only occasionally burnt or trimmed away by the council.
This is an angry rape payer. Yeah.
I was walking along a narrow concrete bridge when I heard heavy breathing from the ditch below me.
Yeah, I know that bridge.
At first I thought it was a drunk.
Yeah.
I remembered the time I was jogging through the park, with my dog this time,
Charlie.
and realised I was running straight towards a large feral-looking mongrel dog who was poking out of the yellow scrub and baring more and more teeth as I approached. It was like Alien Success Rose. We forget how close we are to nature.
What are you talking about? You go for a fucking jog through the park and there was a dog. Relax,
Well, they were talking about the weeds the council didn't clear.
Anyway, get back to Anthony Kiedis under the bridge.
I hurried along the bridge and looked under it after retreating to a respectful distance.
You didn't want to look too impetuous and sluttish by turning too quickly.
There was nothing there. More relaxed and curious now, I walked back onto the bridge to ponder the origin of the sound. I promptly resumed. This time I boldly leaned over the railing and looked right under the bridge. Again, I saw nothing more suspicious than empty, faded beer cans.
How under the bridge did she look? She got like a giraffe neck that she could... Or did she like just... Was it that bold that she like just hung right over the edge to have a look under the bridge?
She's those monkey bar skills from primary school paying off.
Oh, she probably just... The dog stood on the bridge. She just like grabbed the leash and just like took a flying leap off the edge.
Ugh. Creeped by the next sentence, I straightened up and stinking hot breath blew in my ear. Ugh.
It's the dog. It's Charlie. No, that's right. Charlie wasn't there this time.
I thought Charlie had followed along and the infections I'd started stinking. It was fear that I felt. Pure fear. Using some fancier word could have only cheapened the experience. I fell back, facing the source of the breath. There was nothing I could see, but the heavy panting continued, and I was well familiar with that rotten flesh smell unique to the breath of a dog on a bloody diet.
She's got some sort of Son of Sam dog obsession or something.
Before I'd even realised I should be getting up, there was a sudden invisible pressure on my chest. I expected paws, but did not quite feel them. Even now I can't quite discern the shape of the force that held me there, whether I was restrained by paws, claws, hands, or a flat slate.
That's a fucking jump to go for paws, claws, hands, getcha.
Yeah.
Flat slate.
Another thing the council hasn't cleaned up.
Yeah. She got hit by a tire.
Vicious howling erupted in front of me. Thoughts of the dog filled my mind until I couldn't even see where I really was. That killer mongrel peeking its nose out of the bush, coolly deciding how close he would allow me to come before he lunged. Unable to think straight, I imagined that this was what he was supposed to have happened, that I had fluked my way out of some cosmic debt.
Cosmic debt?
And now the collector was knocking.
Well, so this dog was the bloodhound from the MS Readathon things from the 80s.
A well-known logo Cujo.
Yeah, he was coming back to get his cash that she didn't hand in. Where he found out that she'd been just writing comics down on her list.
Yeah, she's in grade 6 and she's doing Mr. Men.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was gone. I didn't move for some time. Meanwhile, Charlie's back in the house scratching, waiting for his eyes to be cleaned out. I wanted to go back there. It took me 4 days to get the nerve to actually do it, but I knew I wanted to go back. I thought about it for a while and decided everything needed to be the same. I arrived at the bridge at 5:30 the next Wednesday, walked to the centre. Well, it's a different date for a start. Walked to the centre and waited. After minutes of nothing, I realised what had drawn the thing to me. I began to picture the dog once more, remembering the lip pulling back and the stained points behind. As nothing continued to happen, I realised what was different from the first time. The memory no longer scared me. I thought about this and realised a few things. The first time I crossed the bridge, something, not a ghost in usual terms, I have no reason to believe it was ever human, created the breathing sound that I was free to ignore or interpret however I wished. It was only after I returned that the breath resembled a dog's. I think the thing offered me a chance to show it what I feared, and I did. I can think of 2 reasons why it acted as it did. Perhaps it wanted to help me exorcise my demons, so to speak, or in some way it wanted my fear for its own reasons.
She gets right into the head of what this thing wants. All she did was just smells a bad smell, and then she fell backwards. There's no other... Oh, she heard a growl. Big deal.
Yeah.
But somehow she's getting right into the psyche of the fucking dog creature.
Speaking of the psyche, she finishes on a
okay.
Her thinking note. We forget how close we are to nature.
Oh, that was a callback, yeah.
But maybe some pat of nature needs us a little closer.
Pat of nature.
The end. Oh, that's terrible. A trip to my grandparents' house.
This is going to be a horror story.
Yeah, horror story filled with extraneous details about the floor plan.
Stale candy.
A lot of you already know me, and I thought it was about time to share one of the many small incidents I've experienced in relation to the things we come to this site to read, share, and talk about.
Oh my god. Why are there so many people that act like everybody's their biggest fan? I have no idea who this fucking person is. Though it's waffly, I'm a little bit worried that it's a werewolf lady again.
Oh yeah, I know. It's that's 2.5 lines of waffle already, saying, stating a purpose for having written something on the internet.
Yeah.
This story happened around the Easter break of 2009. My ex-girlfriend, her brother, which I will call her... Oh, we have heard this one. It's like we're going to say, let's call her this, let's call her that, and then starts using real names. All right, my ex-girlfriend, her brother, which I will call Sarah and David...
Just call them Sarah and David.
And myself decided to go down to Mandurah, south of Perth, for the weekend to go fishing and relax a bit. Now, my grandparents have both passed away in 2006, and since that time, I'd not been to their home, mainly because of memories, and such as I was very close to my grandparents, especially my grandma.
Okay, I'm not sure. Yeah, all right.
Well, the trip only took us 45 minutes from Perth.
It's probably like an hour less than what this story's going to take. But yeah.
And upon arriving there, I was instantly hit with a flood of memories. It was kind of like stepping back in time, but the garden was not as lush as it used to be, ha. Now I had been telling Sarah over... Don't laugh, it's serious.
Yeah.
Over
Tell us the joke. Tell us the story about the garden not looking the same. That always cracks me up.
Now I've been telling Sarah over the years about my interest in the paranormal, and I had her a little bit frightened on coming here, but I assured her everything would be fine. Whoops. I had also told her about a couple of experiences of my grandma visiting me, but I will leave that for another story.
Oh, cliffhanger.
I went to the next door neighbour to retrieve the keys for the house, as he kept on the maintenance of the home. Well, not very
Yeah,
the
not
garden.
good, yeah.
As soon as I opened the door, I was greeted by the old familiar smell and atmosphere of a place that had had many happy times and moments. Why haven't they sold the place? It's 3 years.
And it still stinks like your grandparents.
I instantly spoke aloud, "Hi guys, it's me, Fox." They used to call me Fox ever since I was a small child, always running, hiding, being cheeky, and yeah, a little turd, I suppose, ha. This instantly made me feel better, but I got a bit of a weird look from Sarah, and David just smirked and chuckled a little.
You're a happy bunch.
Now, the first incident there, I myself actually found a tad bit funny, but to Sarah it was no laughing matter. It must have been around 5:30 in the afternoon, spooky time, and we were getting ready to head out to town for dinner. Sarah had decided to do her hair in the bathroom.
Oh, can you get to the fucking point?
Which was part of the extension to the house, which my grandparents completed. That side of the house was mainly occupied by my grandmother. She had her own bedroom too, which we were all banned from entering.
Oh, man, I hope this was a murder-suicide with her grandparents.
It was her bathroom, and my grandfather had strict instructions to use the old one. I don't want them to go stumble into their fuck down.
Gives a fit, yeah.
I was watching television in the lounge with David. I've still got the electricity on. Who's been paying this for? This is a seriously disturbed family. If no one wants to go there because of memories, they haven't disconnected any of the services. I imagine the maintenance on the house is just clearing the junk mail.
The water's still on.
Yeah. I was watching television in the house with David.
TV's still sitting there.
Yeah.
Someone must live there.
Yeah. Maybe it's a holiday house or something.
Yeah, they probably
Rented
keep,
it out.
yeah.
Obviously not very popular since it's
Why are we fucking speculating on this shit?
Oh, let's get back to the floor plan. We were waiting for Sarah to finish doing her hair when we heard the bathroom door slam shut with quite loud force. Not 1 second later, it did it again, and to top it off once more after that. And so, yes, 3 times it opened and slammed closed on her.
Big deal, our ghost does that too.
This one talked to us. This is a door with a handle that needs to be twisted to open like most doors. And there wasn't a window open or wind that could have done this either. It all happened so quickly. The next thing I know, Sarah had already run into the lounge. Her face was in total shock and to the point of tears. Dave and I just looked at each other thinking, did that really happen?
What?
What's some skittish girl running in tears? We left the home straight away after that, trying to think of an explanation for what had just occurred. Sarah had calmed down by now. I myself pretty much knew it and said, well, I don't think my grandma approves of you, Sarah.
Oh, that's the best way to soothe someone.
And she was just
There's
showing...
a ghost in the house and they hate your guts.
Not us, just you.
You.
She's focusing all her cosmic energy on you.
Remember when we laughed at the joke earlier, but you didn't?
And she was just showing you a sign that she was there. I can still remember the face and words I received for that comment. So I said something about her hair that she didn't get to finish. Yeah, your hair isn't bad either. Which at least got her to laugh. And I told her to maybe introduce herself to my grandparents when we got back, as my grandma in particular was a stickler for manners.
I would flip a fucking table if I was like over at a friend's house and they insisted that I speak to the ghost of their grandma, humouring this horse shit.
Yeah, grab the friend round in a headlock and go, okay, Grandma, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Step up.
Sarah did just that, and her and David didn't experience much else for the remainder of our stay. I myself, however, had a different experience. Every night there, I would always be the last one asleep, which is typical for me, as I am a light sleeper.
No. All these people are bad
I
sleepers.
like to stay awake and fret. And get moody inside my head.
Yeah, you can hear noises. It's David hooking into Sarah down in the shed.
What didn't he say was his ex-girlfriend? Was it ex-girlfriend at the time? Yeah, all bets are off. I would be watching television.
He's banging around one of Grandma's dresses and shit.
Meaning that he's wearing the dress.
Yeah.
I would be watching television and we would hear a sliding door to the hallway open up or close on several occasions. I say open or close because I had seen it open and close in the same night.
Oh, fuck off.
This was immediately behind me and was wooden. It has a very distinct sound and definitely was not David or Sarah as they were asleep in front of me. The same with footsteps in the kitchen, the smell of cigarettes. I also heard glasses tinkling together in the bar area, which I believe was my grandpa, as he loved that bar. I had to turn off the light in my grandma's old room twice on my visit there. Once whilst...
When I turned it off. Okay. Right.
Yeah, you had to turn it off, yeah. Once after I turned it on,
Yeah.
and another time after I turned it on. Once whilst we were in the home, and the other after coming back late from dinner, seeing the light turn on in her room whilst pulling up in the driveway was a bit frightening. We definitely were not expecting to see that. Of course, there was the feeling of being watched. I must admit I was a bit unnerved by all this, but I knew exactly who it was and actually felt good. I think they were glad to see me there and were putting on a bit of a show to let me know they were still around.
Oh, the cards.
I know they are at peace and I believe they came...
Well, apparently not.
I think they've been living in their house for the last 3 years.
Yeah, they're not
It's
actually
ghost
dead.
electricity.
They're not dead. It's like Grandpa looks out the window and goes, oh, fucking hell. Sharon's just pulling up now. They quickly, the two of them, scutter up a ladder.
Sheets.
Yeah, up into the roof.
That's why the house stinks so much. I know they are at peace and I believe they came to see how it was. Sorry, it's been a bit long and I missed out quite a fair bit of detail, but you get the picture.
Well, you got all the wrong detail.
Great.
That's all that matters. Terrible.
Accidents at work?
It's going to be a ghostly compo claim.
Firstly, this happened tonight at work, so everything is still fresh in my mind.
Good.
It happened about an hour ago. We were closing the store at the time. I work at KFC. It was then that I had started experiencing things I believe that weren't just accidents. My workmate thinks maybe I have annoyed a spirit in some way.
Oh, the coleslaw spirit.
Colonel Sanders is back.
Oh, why did I accidentally mix up a recipe for voodoo mashed potatoes and gravy?
The tongs, always use the tongs.
Someone ordered 13 nuggets and put a hex on the shop.
Yeah, it's he who decides who the employee of the month is going to be. So I might have annoyed a spirit in some way, but I don't know if that was the case, and I need help with if it was just unlucky or supernatural.
Okay.
Firstly, I had burnt my hand.
Supernatural.
I thought it a plain accident. This happened when I was cleaning the henny penny.
What the fuck is a henny penny?
Whatever it is, it's dangerous. She said, I cut my hand. She burnt her hand and then cut her hand. Is that on the same henny penny? Must be the second incident. Oh, then I cut my hand, but not enough to make me bleed.
It's not a cut then, is it?
It's just running a handle on the countertop. I cut it on a blunt-edged chip holder. Oh my God. This KFC needs looking at, seriously.
Yeah.
Then again, they always look like they're a death trap. It's like Final Destination set right there. Again, I thought nothing of it. So this is how often she injures herself at work, apparently. Not soon afterwards, I saw a figure behind me.
It was Darren, the manager.
When I looked out a window, it was the drive-through.
Yeah.
Turning around, I saw nothing. 10 minutes later, I slipped on some water and nearly cracked my head on the bench behind me. Thinking firstly of an accident, I remembered the figure I had seen and become more cautious.
What?
That's what makes you cautious, having all these accidents.
Yeah, it doesn't matter all the dangerous, dodgy appliances around the place.
Yeah,
Some shadowy
the hot
figure.
henny penny and the blunt
Knife.
chip holder.
Yeah.
I should mention, after slipping over, I saw the figure. It could have been a head injury, but it was closer in the window than the last one.
I bet she probably makes this shit up all the time at work, so she doesn't have to like do certain jobs.
Do you reckon this is the same girl with the dad that hates her because she can't hold a job? And
Probably. But the manager goes, "Oh, Jennifer, can you work on the front counter?" Oh, I'm seeing spirits.
Oh, whoops. I cut my hand. Oh, what? There's no blood. Oh, there's no blood. I just cut my hand.
Can you make a crusher, Jennifer? Oh, the crusher machine's haunted. Oh.
I began working on the floors, which included straight hot water with soap thrown across the floor. Oh my God, this is
how she has accidents.
Oh. The second time throwing the water, it splashed straight on my feet and soaked straight through my toes, where small blisters have started appearing. Fuck, what are you doing in the home? Go to the hospital. Oh, it was about a minute later when water flew in my face from the bucket, a bit getting in my eyes with soap. So for the rest of the evening...
Who's throwing the water?
I had a bit of a red eye. I think this is procedure.
Is this someone, like, she stands there in the middle of the floor and the other employees just take turns throwing hot buckets of steamy water at her?
But somehow this spirit goes, oh, this is good, and decides to, like, splash, splash, splash with his ghosty hands from the... Yeah.
This is like the KFC carry. They just dump hot soapy water on her.
I'm thinking this needs to be reported.
Oh.
I'm like, do we have a duty of care to this girl?
No.
It's the internet.
Dead now.
Yeah. Whew. The last near accident that happened was something that had fallen. I don't know what it was. I believe it had something to do with the venting system above our cookers. Oh my God. But an inch closer and it would have caused me serious head injuries. I think she's had head injuries like this.
Just like the cut that didn't happen.
Oh. Getting really concerned, I asked my boss if it was all right to stay inside closer to people than outside in the dark.
Where is she? She's just like, yeah.
Why is she outside doing them?
She's picking nuggets out in the back garden. It's her job to climb the nugget tree.
She's got to creep into the heady penny cage. Yeah. This is due not to having a light at the back of our store.
What a dump this place is.
When I went inside, I felt a strong urge to stay inside with the lights on. Yeah.
Why? Because they usually switch the lights off inside. Darren, the manager, goes,
so
not made of fucking money, switches the lights off. Got to order your food and cook it in the dark.
Someone falls face first into the chip boiler and he's going, well, I didn't see anything because the lights were off.
Well, the chip boiler's not switched on. He's not paying for that either.
It was just like something or someone was watching us.
Yeah, Darren, the manager. God, what are you doing?
My friend and manager both... Oh, she's both friends and manager.
So anyway, she's keeping this job.
My friend, manager and lover both said that the back felt different than what it usually felt like. Talking to a friend about what she said, she understood what I was freaking out about.
Oh, that makes one of us.
It's going to help doing the paperwork easier. Please, anyone, help! I'm freaking out here. I've seen paranormal before, but this, I can't describe it. Any explanation will do. Maybe I can force myself to think of them as acts of randomness. I would also like to mention that every incident after seeing the shadow figure the first time, it would reappear after another accident happened.
Okay. I'm going to respond to this and just say, I ordered a zinger about 10 minutes ago. Is there anything happening?
Oh, Miss Laura. Wow. Well, I think this is going to be a time. It's called Activity at My Friend's House Since the Kids Moved In.
The Hey Dad story.
Oh, Mr. Kelly. I was staying at a friend's house. No, that's going to get old. I was staying at my friend's house one day, and she lives about 2 hours away from me, so I decided to stay there over the weekend. By the way, she had taken 4 kids of her sisters in, because otherwise they would have been put in separate homes because of DHS. How many kids does a sister have?
4.
It says 4 of her sisters.
Yeah, but she might be pregnant.
That's true. These things only started to happen when the kids moved in.
Oh, okay.
The kids were sound asleep in their rooms.
Yes. Money has gone disappearing around the house.
Old scratchies seemed to be lit around the backyard.
Across the bathroom mirror, a cunt was scratched into the glass.
Me and my friend, let's call her Mel.
Yeah, okay.
We were watching TV. Do you reckon it's Mel from Breakfast TV?
Yeah.
She just talks on the screen. She heard a loud bang come from one of the kids' rooms. We ran to the room thinking the little girl had fallen out of bed. When we rushed in there, she was sound asleep. But what was crazy was that we had seen the blanket being pulled away slowly, and then we ran back in the lounge room.
So they go in there, they see a ghostly thing happening to a child, and so they run out of there as quickly as possible.
And the
back to the lounge
ghostly
room.
thing happening to the child is a blanket being in the dark, being pulled off. Or wouldn't you at least turn on the light and say, who's doing this? Who's hiding under the bed? That's fucking creepy. Oh. Alright, so we ran back in the lounge room. Then we went back in to check on her, and she was fine, and the blanket was back on her, but covering her face. She's dead, poor girl.
Yeah.
The next morning, we took the kids over to their nans to play there for a bit, so that we could go back and do some cleaning. As we got back to Mel's house, we were in the kitchen, and a blue ball had fallen off the fridge and flew across the room. So we ran out and left the house.
Then we ran back
Now
with blankets over our faces.
Now every now and then the doorbell goes off at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, that's Damien, the kid's estranged father, looking for him. I fucking never done you wrong. Come on,
What, I
Sharon.
can't even break in and take my child in.
I've been looking
middle
for a
of the night.
fucking job.
Also, the other day, Mel was on the phone and she was telling her brother about what had happened, and her brother was laughing at Mel, told her brother to stop laughing.
Yeah.
That wasn't funny, and then she heard something repeat exactly what she had said, and she was the only one home. So now I'm afraid to go back there. Can someone please help and let us know what it could be, and if we should be afraid or not? Thank you for the time to read this. Well, they can't decide on their own instincts. They're...
But they're too busy running away before they see the results of anything.
Any evidence? Nope. Any circumstantial evidence? Nope.
They do the same every time they go to the doctors, and the doctor's about to tell them what's wrong. They just like make a bolt straight out the door.
That's why DHS is so concerned about your kids.
Yeah.
Afternoon office creepy feelings.
Isn't that an Eagle song?
I think this is like a workplace harassment
Yeah.
pamphlet here.
Yeah, I've worked with this guy before.
I'm a skeptic first, believer second.
Oh, doesn't one like counteract the other?
It's 50-50
Yeah,
roughly, depending on the day.
Depends on how good your bullshit is for I believe it.
I'm a skeptic, but I'll believe. Not necessarily the same thing as you. Opinions are welcome, however, please keep them as opinions or ideas. I'm open to all ideas, however, I hope that by anyone choosing to comment on this story that you respect me as well as my opinions and / or ideas.
Can you say ideas again?
Now to get to the important part, which is to do more with the feeling I get rather than what I've heard or seen.
Okay, i.e. no evidence.
I work in a small office building 2 minutes away from the city. 2 minutes rocket ride from the city. What?
Yeah, but no, I love this next line.
Will not say which state as to protect my identity.
Fucking get your hand off it. If he said, I work in an office in Brisbane, everyone's going to go, that's David.
I know
That's David. We've got you. ASIO's right on you.
Oh, details. And I've been working as the receptionist for about 6 to 8 months now. Oh, that's.
I think I know who this is.
Yeah. It is a lovely job and close to many fast food outlets, pubs/clubs, restaurants, and other.
This map is
amenities.
It's zooming in. It's
and
getting closer and closer.
And other entertainment places to hang out and enjoy yourself.
I gotcha.
Another one written by the Chamber of Commerce. Now, in searching for any history to this building, I've not been able to find out much.
That's why no one ever gets... People are like ringing and ringing and ringing. No one's picking up the phone. And she's too busy like on Wikipedia.
That's why it like rings. The phone rings for about 2 minutes and I pick it up and no one's there. I think it's a ghost. The only thing I've got from the history of the building that apparently it used to be a brothel many years ago. Those who do not know what a brothel is and are over 18, please Google it, as it's a bit embarrassing to say. What the fuck?
I wish I was hanging out with this woman.
Anyway, part of my job includes collecting the mail and then opening the office and getting everything sorted for the day. So I get in around 8:15 a.m. and I am alone until about 9:30. For the hour that I'm alone, I feel totally at ease and calm. Yeah, it's absolutely not necessary to come in that early if everyone's coming in over an hour later. However, packing up at the end of the day is another story, and even sometimes when I'm alone in the middle of the day, it's a bit uneasy. Twice I've seen something move from the corner of my eye, which has startled me. Now this I've brushed off as my imagination or eyes playing tricks on me. When it's a client popping in as the boss, looking around to see if she's actually doing anything. The first time...
She actually just works in the wax museum thing on the Gold Coast. That's why she's...
there we go.
That's why she's freaked out all the time.
Right next to Tiki Village as the local entertainment and amenities. The first time I was in the kitchen waiting for the kettle to heat up and was staring out the window when to my right, the female toilets, which is just a room directly to... I won't say what it is, but it's because it's embarrassing. Which is a room directly to my right in the kitchen. The toilet's in the kitchen. The female toilets, which is in a room directly to my right in the kitchen, with the exit door between us, and further back to my right, the kitchen bench. To my... Are you getting all this? To my left is the fridge and a sitting table for lunchtime. I noticed something like a human crouched down or a big cat or dog-like creature dash behind the half-open door to the toilet. As the boss bent over and go, fuck, I'm going to make it. My first instinct was to stand still, but then I talked myself into thinking it was just my eyes. Obviously, it's not an optometrist building. So I quickly closed the door anyways and hurried back to my desk at the other end of the office building.
Where you should have been to begin with. Just not stand. She's standing there just staring out of a window as the kettle boils. They're flat out.
I think it's the receptionist from Anchorman too. She just stands there staring at the phone, so sometimes it rings. The second time was just earlier today when I was working at my desk. Now, I probably should mention that there are two doors, one to my right, which is constantly locked and blocked by my reception desk, which is an L shape with a short ledge to my right, and luggage in front of me.
Oh, shut
a little area for reception. And the other door, also to my right, but in front of my desk, which is where people...
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, God, make it stop. I'm sorry, left and right, I can't tell where I'm up to.
Behind me.
Oh, behind me. Behind me is an office blocked from me by a wall. The door is behind me on this wall, but more to the left. And on the opposite side across the walkway/hallway from my reception area is another office exactly the same as the one behind me. Now, this office door is normally open and ajar most of the time, and I can see a bit inside. Oh, I can tell why people try to come in at like 9:30 as late as possible. Oh. So, as I was explaining...
I don't know what you're explaining.
Oh, I was working at my desk, and from the corner of my eye, I saw a tall grey thing disappear further into the office. It's a bit unnerving, however, I'm going to stick with it, either being my eyes, for example, dust particles, or my imagination. We had someone come to fix the cracks and holes in the floorboards the other day.
She's going to give a rundown of the layout of the floorboards.
Which budget line they had to charge it to. In which he said were probably 150 years old, so there could be a lot of history here. I'm sure there could possibly been something happening here, and especially if it being a brothel
Where does that come into it?
Then I would have no doubt that such a busy area with so many alcohol supplying places, something bad could happen.
Jumping to conclusions. People going in there, like some dude getting his nut off at a brothel somehow attracts dog monsters and tall grey things.
But don't forget the alcohol supplying places.
Oh yeah, it's a den of inequity. Fuck you.
Did you think it's a prohibition or something?
Oh, probably.
And possibly there may have been something in this building, but until I have solid proof, then I would continue going about my time thinking this place is just old and that it's just my imagination.
I hope she's still on probation and they fuck her off.
I hope all descriptions were easy to understand, and I'm
like
sorry that it was nothing super creepy or nothing that was difficult to debunk, but I know this feeling is odd, and whether something is here or not, it is good or bad, it's a feeling I get that makes me feel a bit scared and that I would love to get out of here ASAP.
Yeah, you're not alone in that feeling in the office.
Fuck me. Always looking twice. I'm new to this, so please bear with me. I've been reading these stories for a good year now and decided to create my own account.
Good for you.
I've always been intrigued by the stories posted. I've never really had the chance to share this with most people, and some people look at me as if I have two heads.
Because I do.
The other night I was in the kitchen getting a drink and the staircase light was on. No one was home but my mum. No one was home but my mum, but she was in bed, which is on the other side of the house, nowhere near the staircase, and I swear that I saw someone standing on the staircase, so certain that I turned and looked as if I actually expected someone to be there, even though I knew no one was home.
Gentleman caller? Suspiciously creeping out of mum's room.
Also, my dad sometimes in the middle of the night finds it hard to breathe because he feels as though someone is pushing down on his chest. I've a number of times heard him in this struggle.
Yeah, I bet you have. Yeah, as you hear some face sitting getting out of control in the next room. I can't breathe.
I remember one time I'd woken up and heard my brother racing around upstairs in a rush, trying to get ready. And I don't always like to see my brother. So I avoided going upstairs to say hello. After a while, my mother had come home, and I said to her, I suppose I'd better go and say hi to Luke then. And she said, what? And I replied, we're going to go upstairs and say hi to Luke. To my surprise, no one had been home all day, so whatever I'd heard, it was no my brother.
I thought she was going to reveal she didn't have a brother.
Yeah, me too. Late at night...
Her brother's the foot stomper. The neighbourhood foot stomper, by the way. That's what it sounds like.
Late at night, maybe late last year, I was in the kitchen. The kitchen is near my bathroom.
That's a common occurrence too in these stories. The shitter being in the kitchen, yes.
And ever since this experience, I close the door to the bathroom always. It was around
200 a.m. Bum, bum, bum.
When I heard what sounded like someone drumming their fingernails onto the wall from inside the bathroom. I went to go and have a look, and just as I got up to look, the noise had stopped. I went back to sit where I was sitting, and it began again. I was scared, of course, so I ran to my room, leaving all the lights on. I actually apologised to Mum for leaving all the lights on because I was scared, but she said I hadn't, even though I know I did.
Wow.
My sister was in the kitchen with her boyfriend. There are two ways of leaving the kitchen. Her boyfriend left one way,
My way or the highway?
and the sister the other way.
Yeah.
And took the high road. Yet they still cross paths.
Two men enter, one man leave.
and meet halfway. Is this all a metaphor?
I don't know.
But my sister turned the lights off and it was really dark.
Whoa, slow down.
When she met up with her boyfriend in the hall, she was aware of some boxes
So was
that
he.
were in her
So
path.
was he. Oh.
So he held her hand. So she held her hand out to her boyfriend to grab, as she could see his figure standing right in front of her. Oh, yet he didn't put out his hand to her in time. Oh, I thought it was going to be. It wasn't the boyfriend. It was the ghost or
I
something.
thought it was going to be something else than his hand.
But he didn't put his hand out to her in time, and she knocked her feet on the boxes. Her boyfriend asked, "What was that?" But he had asked her all the way from her room, which was nowhere near where she was. So obviously what she had seen was not her boyfriend after all. And of course, shocked, she ran into her room. I'm not so sure if her boyfriend believed her. That part of the story I am unaware of. Also, I always feel as though I'm being watched, like someone is behind me. It's strange and sometimes makes me feel a bit uneasy. I don't know what to think of it. Help? Thanks for reading.
That was high octane all the way through. Thank fuck.
Am I being targeted?
Yep.
Over the last few months, strange things have been happening here. The first sign of something out of the ordinary was when I woke up one morning to find my bedroom door locked from the outside. What? Locked from the outside, with the inside being unlocked. What sort of creepy house does she live in? When I go to bed, it's the other way around, as logically I can't lock the door on the outside while I'm standing inside.
Oh,
Maybe they got one of those bathroom lock things, but they've
I don't know.
put it in the wrong way. I got home from work one night the next week to discover this time the door was locked inside and locked outside, and unlocked outside, completely opposite of how I'd left it. And now this. As I type this, my dog is going berserk, scratching and sniffing at my bedroom door, where 2 hours ago an unseen something slammed the door hard against my hand as I reached in to turn the light off. I've only been living in this house for a little under 2 years, in my current room for just over 2 months.
How does that work?
They all swap and say, change places. My sister lived in there the whole time before I moved my stuff in, and she says she never experienced anything unusual.
The bedroom door was probably locked for the past, 1 year and 10 months. That's why she couldn't get in.
Yeah. Am I being targeted?
Yeah, I love the fact that sister says that she'd never experienced anything unusual.
Bitch face. Am I going insane? I'm new to this site and new to weird experiences. I live in Sydney, New South Wales, and in a reasonably modern apartment, which I've been renting with my partner for about 6 months now. I think it is also important to note that my partner has not witnessed anything out of the ordinary. In fact, she is quite the skeptic and thinks that I am borderline crazy for the little I have told her. I guess you could say that I noticed things about 2 months ago, lying in bed about 11 p.m. I heard the taps on the bathroom begin to drip.
Oh, turn it off.
After a few moments of debating whether or not I could tolerate the noise, I decided to get up and solve the problem. It's not so much the noise, it's wasting water. When I entered the bathroom, I was quite shocked to discover that the tap was not dripping. It was net even wet. I checked the shower and the laundry. Nothing. Telling myself that fatigue had played a cruel trick, I crept back into bed, curled up to my partner, and fell slowly off to sleep.
What you need to do is put your headphones on and beatbox. Like a previous writer.
Make it work for you. Yeah. I did not think much more on this until a few days later when I was sitting on my balcony. As I was home alone, I was taking some me time by sitting in the sun with a cigarette and a cup of tea. As I was just getting relaxed, I saw out of the corner of my eye someone moving in the lounge room. Freaking out that it was my partner, I'm supposed to have given up on smoking, I quickly put out / flicked the cigarette and ducked inside to see why my partner was home early. The first thing I noticed was that my lounge room was quite cold. I called out to my partner, but there was no answer. I sensed very strongly that I was not alone in the apartment, but it became clear very quickly that I was still alone. At this point, I started to freak out just a bit. When I told my partner upon her return, she just laughed it off and said that I was overworked, one of her common complaints, and I need to take a break. The following night, as I was brushing my teeth before bed, I could swear that I started to hear some kind of guttural growl coming from I don't know where. I quickly ran into the bedroom to ask my partner if she could hear it, and she said she couldn't, gave me a weird look, and then she went back to reading her book. Annoyed, I tried to source out the noise, but to no avail. Within 5 minutes, it became quite faint and then disappeared altogether. These are just the start of my experiences in this place. I've no idea what's going on, and like I said, my partner thinks I'm going nuts. If interested, I will write further experiences, so maybe I can get some help on what's going on. Thanks for reading.
Yeah, don't bother.
Great. Am I just paranoid?
No, we all hate you.
I'm really freaking out right now. I mean, I get creeped out a lot. I'm really paranoid of the supernatural. But this was different. I'm legitimately scared. Here's what happened. Our house has the kitchen, study, and lounge room at one end. Then there's a long hallway that's never failed to scare the living daylights out of me. That's a bit of a worry. Turn the corner. Oh, it's just the hallway. That connects my room, my parents' room, my sister's room, and the toilet and bathroom. So if I was standing in the kitchen looking into the lounge room, there's no way anyone could walk past me down the hallway and into their bedroom without me noticing. She likes to stand sentry. So as you might have guessed, I was standing in the kitchen just after getting myself a Vegemite-covered Vita-Wheat.
Ugh, fucking gross.
I'm Aussie and hungry.
Ugh.
Vegemite, pure satisfaction.
That's the most horrifying thing I've heard in any of these stories.
Oh, I think I'm too frightened to go on.
Vita-Wheat with Vegemite. Wow.
I'm Aussie and hungry. When I saw my little poodle cross Shih Tzu run past me and dart into the lounge room, where I saw who I thought was my dad walking around the corner to the door. I figured Muffin, my dog, he's a boy, my sister got naming rights, was just barking at him as he does any time he thinks we're going for a walk without him. So naturally I didn't think much of it, until my mum, who was in the study, called out something to my dad and he answered her from down the hallway.
It was his shift to just stand in the hallway eating a Vita-Wheat.
They're like a family of meerkats.
Yeah.
I thought I must have heard him wrong, and he just sounded like he was down the hallway. But when I turned my head to the right, I saw his bedroom light on and his shadow moving across the wall.
This is like, when these stories get posted, does someone write something and then another half a dozen people sort of read it and then they just follow suit? That you get
this is the model for writing. You've got a framework there.
And this will be the framework for like 6 stories in a row. And then because we went through the mirror ones, we went through see a shadow figure in the TV,
and a similar titling. You had "Am I paranoid? Am I insane?" No question marks. Anyway, that's when I started panicking. Dad, where are you? I've choked on my words. I'm down here. Yeah, really helpful. I was almost to the point of praying it was him standing in front of the door, which I couldn't see. I could just see Muffin barking at someone. And my sister had just wandered into my parents' room for whatever reason a young teenage girl would want to do so. But no, my dad popped his head out of the door and gave me a strange look. What's going on? My mum asked me. And me, thinking a burglar must have broken in, asked, who's in the lounge room? She, of course, said no one.
She didn't say it in friendly terms either.
No.
No one in the fucking lounge room. For fuck's sake.
My dad came down the hallway.
You better not have eaten all those fucking Vita-Weeks.
My dad came down the hallway at that moment asking what I was on about, and I kept insisting that someone was in front of him. If someone was in front of the doorway and the muffin was barking at them. I'm getting confused. I thought that the ghost is in the bedroom and Dad's at the... Oh.
Just quietly, I hate Muffin, okay? I hate that dog.
Dad went, I hope it's one of these things that, turns out that Muffin was actually in the backyard, his throat slit and some kind of ghost
satanic
dog.
ritual, yeah.
Dad went to investigate and I followed, but no one was there when I turned the corner and stood in front of the doorway. The doors were locked, and the only way to lock them is from the inside the house.
She just read this in the other story, yeah.
And I didn't hear the door open or close. I looked around to see if someone was hiding behind the lounge or something, but there was nothing. Muffin was still barking. How about you do your investigation and then say, hey, I found someone, we've got a burglar.
I bet if you ask their next door neighbours, you're going, have you ever heard Muffin bark? They'll be going, fucking A, I've heard Muffin bark. That fucking dog never shuts up.
Well, not anymore. As he dusts his hair.
You'd throw him into the incinerator,
Yeah, it was the neighbour in the house. I was nearly in tears with how scared I was. Still am. But even... Vita Wheat and Vegemite, calm me down. But even if this sounds wussy, I really did see someone. My mum thinks it was just the TV reflecting in my eyes, but I saw a freaking arm and about half of a man's body turn. That would freak me, just seeing half a man turning the corner in the doorway. It honestly looked like my dad, and when he came to investigate, it's the other dad who lives up in the roof, to investigate, he had the same jacket on that I thought I saw on the mystery arm.
Okay, so you saw a figure that you thought was your dad just before you saw your dad. He looked like your dad and was wearing identical clothing as your dad. I'm going to go out on a limb here.
And meanwhile... Oh, they've been busy, rubbing their eyes and going, what's going on? I'm paranoid of the paranormal. Dad's just walked down the hall and go, what the fuck are you on about? So, this is what has me up at 11:25 p.m. not getting sleep for my classes. They're all swats.
Oh, who's
they're
going to...
worried about...
Yeah. How are you going to make...
8:30 p.m. and I can't get to sleep.
How are you going to make it through the day at only 7.5 hours sleep?
I'm going to have to eat so much vitamin and Vita-Week.
Yeah, she just puts she breaks a Vita-Week in half and puts 2 pieces under her eyelids, keeps him awake. Takes a big... yeah, there's going to be an after-school special about her getting hooked on Vegemite and Vita-Weeks. Yeah. To study for exams.
Yeah, if you want to chrome and really be Aussie about it. Alright, so this is what has me up at 11:25 p.m, not getting any sleep for my classes tomorrow, which I need to pay attention in for the exams next week, and definitely not feeling sleep is coming anytime soon. Has anyone got any ideas about what I saw? Was it really just a figment of my imagination? Or is the ghost friend in my house just... or is the ghost friend in the house that
in my house
that my friends and myself we joke about really here? They'd just like to add that, I've got friends. Just on a side note, after typing the word ghost just now, my hand started to feel like ice. It's because you've been sitting there in the middle of the night typing. It will happen.
She's not very good with the QWERTY system. Just waving the finger over the keyboard for 10 minutes. G. I got a fucking...
that was a J.
I've got a computer exam tomorrow too. Fucked.
How will I ever pass home computing now?
Yeah. She hasn't got time to sleep. She can piss fart around just typing ghost into Google instead of studying for an exam.
Oh, she's just shocked. She just Googled brothel. That could just be because I've freaked myself out, or because it's cold, but you never know.
Oh, you dunderhead. All right.
See ya. Bye.